baby. PGA is back in action. 2026 is upon us. Mr. Jacob Harris from Thomas Adams Apparel, Zach Camico, and myself, Riggs Tamburo, here with the Sports Forum, the show powered by our friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel. Make sure you guys check it out, thomasadamsapparel.com. You see the scroller there on the bottom of the page if you guys want to go ahead and try to find it. But that said, gentlemen, this tournament is one of my favorites, not because it kind of kicks off the year and gets us back into golf, but it's actually a really fun tournament to watch. It's absolutely beautiful going down in Hawaii. This one last year, just to remind everybody, was an $8.7 million purse at the Waialae Country Club, which it is at again here. Nick Taylor got it done in the playoff against Nico Echevarria, 8-9 there in the playoff. And in this season, it does get a little bit better here. Now $9.1 million, so up $400,000 in the purse, still at the Waialae Country Club, January 15th through the 18th. Zach, I will come to you first, my man. Looking at this tournament as a whole, anything jumping off the page that golfers should be prepared for, or that just even people watching should be looking out for here?
Yeah, I think this is a very scenic course. I think there's definitely a lot to look at. There's going to be a lot of cool things, a lot of good factors to be a golfer out there. So there's going to be a lot of good things about that. But I think something to look out for, there's a lot of narrow fairways here, and there's going to be some factor with the wind, obviously, with those island conditions. There's always wind and some weather factors coming in there. But so far, it's just looking like a little bit of wind here. So with some narrow fairways, it's all going to come down to those drives and those iron strikings and who can control the ball the most on their approach shots. So I think we're just looking at that so far, but it's definitely going to be fun and definitely going to be fun to watch as well.
I'm with you on the wind. I remember watching last year, and that was a real problem for those guys that had problem with control. They were popping balls too high. They weren't driving balls. The wind really got to them there. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. Jacob, anything else, man, popping out here to keep an eye out for?
No, I'd agree with Zach. I think it's every golf course. You got to hit greens, you got to hit fairways, right? The basics, and the wind, obviously being on the beach, it causes issues. Like you said, if you pop the ball up, if you can't control it and you're starting to miss shots, it makes it very damaging out there. It'll be interesting though. I think everyone's getting ready for the season to start. We got some big news that just came upon us on someone joining back. So I think there's a lot of people that are excited to watch and get back in the groove of it, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a real good one. It's exciting.
Oh, yes, it is. I'm glad. I'm hoping that the live golf thing is finally coming to an end. I have been over it since the day it started, and like you said, it's good to have some guys back here on the tour. But that said, let's talk about a guy that might not be around for long here in this tournament. Let's talk about a guy that might struggle, might not be on your leaderboards, might not be worth putting bets in on. Yes, guys, we got top 20s for you. We got winners for you. We got first round leaders for you. But before we do that, let's talk about a guy you might not want to put your money on this weekend. Zach, who are you looking at?
Yeah, I just think right off the bat, I think one that sticks out to me, obviously he's a favorite coming off winning last year, Nick Taylor. I'm not expecting him to be placing too high this time. I just think there's a lot of big names, and those big names have been placing high and recently. And a lot of shows we've talked about, it's been all guys like Jordan Spieth, Maverick Vic Neely, Keegan Bradley, JJ Spawn. So I think it's going to be tough for Nick Taylor to compete with guys like that. And even guys below him, those guys have been playing well too. You look at guys who are ranked even below him on the list right now, and those guys even have been competing at the highest level over the past couple months, and we haven't really seen that high level from Nick Taylor in a while. So I think it's going to be tough for him to come back this time around.
Wow, I can't lie to you, Jacob. I don't know how you're feeling, man, but fade Nick Taylor, that takes some guts here. The man could have just said, I'm not taking him to win, and instead he's fading this man. Jacob, are you with him on that? And who are you going to add to the list here?
I don't know. That's a pretty bold take, Zach. Not gonna lie. That's a bold take.
I'm gonna take him outside the top 10. That's what that's my prediction. Maybe not like horrible. I'll take maybe like instead of like expecting him to be dominant, coming off winning last year, I'm gonna say it's not gonna be like that. Maybe like I'm definitely gonna, in my prediction, I'm putting him outside the top 10. If he misses the top 20, that wouldn't surprise me much either.
Okay.
I can get behind the top 10. I'll say that. I get behind the top 10 on there just because it's golf, and to get inside the top 10 on any of these tournaments, you got to play really, really good golf. So it can happen to anyone. So I'll back you on that. Top 20, we'll save that. I guess a guy that I just have to say his name because I was looking at the field and he's in it. Vijay Singh. Not making the cut, that's an easy one, I think. Old man hasn't walked this many rounds in a long time. Just throwing that out there. But on a serious note, I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys that are just getting started. Nico, obviously, I think last year came out strong. I know probably some guys are going to think with his success from last year, they're going to try to put some money on him. I don't know. I don't really like him that much. He didn't really play good in big tournaments, I don't think, last year. For the most part, you didn't really see his name that much. So I wouldn't throw. I'd throw Nico in there. I'd fade him. I don't think you'd get back to back times of him really performing that well.
Interesting. I can't believe this. So basically, the top two guys on the board are being a little bit disrespected this week, which we'll get to those picks here in a minute. But I might be taking one of these guys here in this tournament. However, before that, I'm going to go with a guy, big time popularity favorite. People have liked this guy for years. I want to say back, it was about 2021, 2022. This dude really kind of took off on the scene. Daniel Berger. He's pretty high up there on the list for a finishing position. However, he was terrible here last year. I watched him last year. Daniel Berger didn't even make the cut last year. And now, here he is, in the top 20 names on the board. This is more of a value fade for me. I don't think Daniel Berger usually shows up not only to start years great, but he doesn't play great in Hawaii either. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a fade of Daniel Berger. And I am going to go as far as saying not to make the cut is a bet that I would put in here. And it is plus money for those that like that as well. So good luck to you guys if you fade Daniel Berger with me. Now, let's talk about first round leaders, because I'm going to go ahead and just throw it out there. The two guys that won this tournament or were in it last year that you two just faded, I actually am going to sprinkle on both of these two for the first round leader. They know the course. They are confident on the course. However, I agree with you guys in the sense of they're not the most consistent. They've had their issues. Fair. Are they going to win for 4 rounds? Maybe not. But I'm going to go ahead and say I think Nico or Nick Taylor can go ahead and at least have their name up there, kind of pick up where they left off, and then I could see it falling off from there. Spoiler alert, no, I'm not taking them to win this tournament, but I think first round leader, I'm not going to disrespect them that much. So I will go with that there. It's kind of a double pick for me, but that's my first rounders here. Jacob, who are you taking?
I'm looking at the list. It's interesting. There's a lot of names on here that can be pretty dangerous. I would say on the first round leader, JJ Spawn, he did perform really, really well last year at this course. I think he got top 10, if I'm not mistaken, looking at past results. Yeah, he tied 3rd last year. So I like JJ as coming out here strong. And then there was another guy that caught my eye actually when I was looking at it. What's called Kurt Kitayama. He's a guy that for some reason, I remember early in the year last year, he came out hot and at random, right? In a random tournament, this guy just came out and you'd see his name up on that leaderboard. So he's got it in him. And considering it's first event of the year, I wouldn't be shocked if you get a random name up there.
All right. Well, I'm going to be with you on that train here in just a minute, my man. But first, Zach, your first round leader. Where are we looking?
Yeah, no, I kind of like what Jacob was saying there, but if I had to pick one, I'm going with Hideki Matsuyama. He's the guy that I've been on for a while. He's coming off, the Hero Challenge. I did pick him to win that, just saying, but he's been doing pretty good. So I like his confidence going into this one. He is a former Sony Open winner, so he does have some confidence here at this course, and I think that's going to favor into him early on. I don't see him necessarily winning, but I do think he's going to be a top finisher here, and I could see him being a first round finisher for sure.
Well. I like what you're saying there. The one guy that I'm fading here in some of the top, usual top ethnicity wise, since we're throwing these names out there, is actually Siwoo Kim. Just while we're on that topic, he did not play well here last year. And he's a guy I usually actually look at for like first round leader and stuff like that. But I'm just on him nowhere at this course as well. Just throwing that out there to add to what you guys were just saying there. But Jacob, you brought up my boy Kurt Kitayama, and I'm slamming him for the top 20. And spoiler, I am also going to sprinkle him to win this entire thing. However, he's not my winner, but I think top 20 for Kitayama is a fantastic play here. We saw this guy really improve his game last year, kind of started to get confident, had a little bit of swag, on the camera, in the post pressers a little bit. I think he's starting to kind of feel like, hey, you know what? I belong here. I can hang with these guys. You threw out the name earlier, JJ Spawn, and you guys know I love me some JJ Spawn. This guy to me, maybe not quite as consistent and as successful so far as JJ, but I put him in that category. And I'm going to say that I got to take him here to open up the year. So I'm going to go Kurt Kitayama top 20. Jacob, who are you looking at?
Top 20. It's a big one. It's a good question. You know, I got Brian Harmon in this tournament. I don't know if I like him too much. Aaron Rye, I always love my two-gloved swinger. He's pretty good there. You know, the humidity, it's there. The humidity's there right now. It's good. The two gloves. You know, I don't know, man. I'd say I've always really liked Billy Horschel in certain things, but Maverick McNeely is a guy that I could probably mess around with a little bit. He did, I think, putting wise was he had some tournaments where he was a gnarly putter, man, and he'd be a fun guy to sprinkle some money on. I think early in the year, getting your feet wet, trying to get him to, you know, hopefully get someone's attention to maybe get in events you're not already in. I think that'd be a good one.
I like it. Zach, one more.
I like Colin Morikawa. I think he's always been that guy. He's kind of around the top couple picks there, but to me, he just hasn't seemed to been kind of closing the deal lately. So I think I'm favoring him for around that top 20 pick. Essentially, I think he's going to be maybe somewhere around the 10-15 range, but I think he always is struggling a little bit to crack that top 10 and get in there quite as tight. So I do like him for top 20. I do think he's going to be playing well at this course. I think the course kind of fits his layout a little bit. He's definitely one of the better iron strikers here in this roster. So I think that is going to play well to his factor. So I do like Morikawa here for a top 20 pick.
You know, the disrespect towards Colin Morikawa to end last season was just unreal. And you guys know, I tried to give him a little bit of grace there at the end, and he fucking burned me bad. Yeah. I mean, I was like, man, Colin can do it one more time. He's gonna end on a high note. Nope, no, he did not. However, I don't think Colin Morikawa was satisfied with how he played last year. I don't think Colin Morikawa's sponsors were satisfied.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah. Colin Morikawa make a lot of money. You know how much Rolex is paying him? Boy, to go out there and miss cuts? I don't think so. So for me, I'm going to say that Colin Morikawa put the work in the offseason. And Zach, I'm not just going to join you. Give me Colin Morikawa to start the year with a win here at the Hawaii Country Club. I believe Colin Morikawa at 22-1. I'm not going to say he's being disrespected because he should not be a top 5 name on this board. But at the same time, if you ask me right now, 1v1, who do I want? Colin Morikawa or any name above him? I'm taking Colin Morikawa. So give me Colin Morikawa to win this tournament here. And I will say, just to throw it out there, sprinkle worthy JJ Spawn. You said it earlier, Jacob.
Yeah.
I think he's the hottest name on the board. So I would sprinkle that as well. But yeah, give me Colin to turn things around very quickly here. I think the work has been put in. Jacob, where are we going?
I am seconding you on that. I love Colin. I love Colin, man. He is a great golfer. I'm a big fan of the guy, and I agree. He set the tone early, show people you've been working on stuff, prove to your sponsors you're still that guy, and get after it. Since we're talking a little sprinkle, there's a guy out there that's making a little headway, though, right? And I like Neil Shipley, the long bomber. I don't even know his nickname yet, but we all know who he is. He's been all over the place on, I think, when was it? I can't remember the tour. I think it was in the smaller events, though. You know, during the majors, that Neil Shipley was just tearing up the courses, man. I mean, he won. I don't know how many he won. I think, did he win a couple events last year? I thought he did.
I can pull that up and just say, I was just looking at his odds, though. He's 120-1 to pull this thing off, my man.
I said sprinkle. I didn't say throw it all on him. I said a sprinkle.
No, I like it. That's good. All right.
So I like Neil. I'd throw Neil in there, man. Why not? It's early in the year. The guy, you know, he's trying to make a name for himself, trying to tell people, hey, I'm coming after you. Here I come. Might as well start it off strong in Hawaii.
Zach, one more, my man. Don't let us down.
Absolutely. No, I like what you guys are saying. I'll tell you guys my pick, but I'm gonna have my pick with a little sprinkle of Colin right there. So I'm gonna have a little sprinkle, but my pick is gonna be JJ Spawn. I really like the way he finished off last year. I think I think this is going to be a big year for him, especially with that whole live deal coming down. I think this is going to be a big year for him. I was really impressed with him. It was at the what was it called? The Ryder Cup. Sorry, I blanked right there. At the Ryder Cup, I think he really stood out to me there. And I was like, damn, this guy really is legit. I kind of faded him there a little bit, but man, he is legit. And I think he's really going to come around. I think this is going to be a big year for him. And I like him to win this one. I think he's got this course. I think he's really lives up to the pressure. I mean, he kind of thrives in that big pressure moment. And I think that with no Scotty, no Rory here, I think this could be his time to open up the year and get it going early on. A little sprinkle of Colin as well.
All right. Well, first of all, the Colin Morikawa thing, I couldn't be more happy. I thought you guys were going to clown me for taking Colin Morikawa here.
So absolutely not.
I'm glad to hear you with me. However, when he goes out and misses the cut, we're all going to feel real stupid. But that's, we'll give that.
That wouldn't be the first time.
That's why it's a sprinkle, though. That's why it's a sprinkle.
True. Well, to me, respectfully, for me, it ain't a sprinkle. I'm trying to get paid on Colin while I can. Genuinely, I don't think we're going to see him at 22-1 very often. Maybe in like a big time major or something later this year if he's not playing well. But even if he's not playing great, he'll be like 12-1, 14-1 in a major. So 22-1 in the middle of Hawaii, you got me messed up. Give me Colin. I'm going pretty heavy on it. That said, I got to ask you guys, none of us talked about the favorite to win this tournament, which is kind of disrespectful of us. Russell Henley is 11-1 to win the entire thing there. No one really close to him. Then all of a sudden you get into Hideki and Ben Griffin and JJ Spawn and Siwoo Kim. They're there. Russell Henley 11-1, and the next closest is 17 here. Jacob, are we missing something here by not taking Russell Henley to win?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think he's such a consistent golfer, and what did he end up? Do you know what he ended up last year on the money ranks? He was pretty high up there. Like,
I will find it for you.
But he played, I'm pretty sure he was like top 10 easy. He might be top 5.
I think he was 4 last year.
Yeah, last year, 1 win, 13 top 25s, 17 out of 19 cuts made. So I mean, he played well. He earned 14.7 mil. I don't know where that puts him though.
4th in the earnings, it says.
4th in earnings. That's pretty impressive. I mean, obviously against the whole field, right? So obviously the guy can play. He's going to make his cuts. He's going to perform well. If you're making that kind of money and momentum, you get this new confidence, and golf is all about confidence, right? And hitting the shots, trusting your shots, trusting your putts. I think you're, I would agree with you. I think we're missing something here, but we're here to spice things up a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah. First term of the year, taking the favorite, it seems kind of wrong. I mean, if the name on top isn't Scotty Scheffler, I rarely am looking at the favorite.
Did you see? He's not a Scotty. That's why.
Exactly.
It's not Scotty. I know most people be like, if Rory was playing, I'd take Rory. I wouldn't take Rory, but you guys know at this point, I'm known as like a Rory hater, which is so stupid because like I'm not a Rory hater. I can't even use the word overrated. See, I'm going to get bashed for that too. Like he's not overrated. He's just slightly overprojected.
He's Rory. That's all you got to say. He's Rory.
Yeah.
He's Rory. There you go. He's Rory.
Yeah,
the second you played him, he wins. So there's that. But one guy that I know I have to respect this year, if I don't respect Tommy Fleetwood this year, you guys are never going to let me hear the end of it. So I'm looking forward to watching him as well. But gentlemen, any other bets, any other golfers that you would definitely look at this week, or guys that we didn't mention that maybe you see on the board that you still aren't a fan of? Like I said Siwoo Kim. He's the 5th name on the board, and I'm just not on him anywhere. If anything, it's to miss the cut, and I'm going to try to get a fat payday. But that's risky, but that's probably where I'd go. Anybody got it?
I was scrolling up and down the field right here, and they started that PGA University. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where you got the guys that have really performed well at the college level that get the exemptions in certain events. And there's a Gordon Sargent that's on this list. And Gordon Sargent, when he was in college, man, he was a dog. And that could be one of the guys. I wouldn't be shocked if he snuck into the cut. He's in college golf. I talked to the guys down here that play on the UTEP team, and I asked them about the courses and talked to the coach about the courses and stuff. And they play some of the harder golf courses, man. These pros, yes, they're playing on hard courses, but compared to some of the college courses that these guys play on, they say it's just ridiculous. And so I I wouldn't be shocked if Gordon can somehow sneak into the cut, personally.
Okay. Not a name I was looking at. I will keep an eye on that one there. I wonder what that pays. I might have to take a look. Anyway, Jacob, we asked the people to take him top 20. Is there a
Uh,
world?
there's a world. Just
Yeah.
how many sprinkles you got in your pocket is the world.
That's true. That's true. You're
Little
running out of
sprinkle.
sprinkles. You're
Yeah.
right.
How many
You're right.
sprinkles you got
Never
that
too
are
many
left over?
sprinkles. Remember that. Never
Yeah.
too many sprinkles.
Yeah. I'm gonna run Baskin Robbins out of business. But that said, Zach, anybody else?
Oh man, no, I'm still sticking to what I had said earlier
Okay.
about last year's winner. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not seeing Nick Taylor too promising here for this one. I see a lot of bigger names that are gonna be out in front of him. I think if you take him top 20, I think that's about as far as I would go.
Hmm.
But if anything, it would be top 20. Other than that, I'm gonna stay away from Nick Taylor. But that's just me. He could go out there and he could prove me wrong, but my gut feeling is telling me that there's a lot of good names on this list, and I think that is kind of put him in the middle of the pack out here.
Well, I got one more bet I want to ask you guys about, but first, a 30-second word from our friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel. We'll be right back.
Are you someone that likes to keep it fun while also looking good on the golf course? Well, then you need to check out Thomas Adams Apparel. Thomas Adams Apparel co-founders Jacob and Grayson envisioned a brand that combined creativity, style, and a love for the game. The duo are dedicated to producing high-quality, stylish, and versatile products that golfers can both enjoy on the course and in everyday life. This summer is the perfect time to improve your look on the course while getting some affordable rounds of golf in with your buddies. Go check out thomasadamsapparel.com right now and grab some sweet new gear.
Gentlemen, my final question for you. There's one prop we've been talking about a few times over the last few months here, and that is the hole-in-one prop. Now, you guys can bet this like per round and whatever, but this is a tough course. Zach already mentioned the wind to hit a hole-in-one in. So I got to ask you guys, the hole-in-one plus 120 for yes, minus 150 for no for the entire tournament. Jacob, will there be a hole-in-one? There's no value betting the no. So the question is yes, or you staying off of it?
Oh, hit it. Hit
Okay.
it. You got Aaron Ryan
Confident.
this thing, dude.
Hammer
I'm
it.
telling you, he's gonna sling a ball in there.
Both of y'all. Okay. So
Why not?
no,
First
no
one of the
Tony.
year. Something
Yeah.
crazy is gonna happen, right?
Wow.
You're in Hawaii.
You
You're in
guys,
Hawaii, man. Everyone's sweet. The greens are sweet. You know, the wind might help push the ball a little bit in the right direction. There's a lot of things going for him there.
well, there you go. I'm not going to fade that. Plus 120 for a hole-in-one. It is rare that we actually see that on these courses. It's usually minus 140 for the yeah. And I'm like, that's stupid. And I'm usually a no guy, as Zach
Yeah.
knows. I'm always like, no, absolutely not. But you're going to give us plus money. Why not? Jacob, any
Yeah.
other stuff going on, man, at Thomas Adams Apparel that you guys got going on? You got coming up? Any events around Texas coming up people can pull up to? How's things going?
We're working on a lot of stuff right now. The beginning of the year is always a little bit of a rush on trying to plan certain events throughout the year, right? Planning drops and stuff. We're excited. We're actually doing our first drop that's going to be related around the tournament, which in my opinion is the best golf tournament that's out there. And I probably can't say the name of it, but it's got green and yellow associated with it. And we're prepping for that. That's going to be real exciting. Probably going to look at dropping that in March. We've got a couple of other things that are planned. Throughout the, like, say, first quarter, first half of the year, and then gearing up obviously for summer and stuff. So a lot going on, a lot of fun stuff, low on stock with a lot of stuff. So I always tell people, a lot of our things that we order, they're all exclusive, right? We usually do a one time, this is what we're throwing out there. If you like it, you better get it because you probably aren't going to see it again. And I think some people are catching on to the gist, but if you haven't yet, there's low stock right now. And if they're sold out, not sure if you're going to see them again. So, it's trying to get those done, and it's been a good time. It's been a good time planning, and we're excited for this year.
Guys, at Thomas Adams Apparel on Instagram, thomasadamsapparel.com. You've been seeing it all over the screen. If you guys got questions too, we've reviewed most of the products, and if we haven't reviewed them, we have seen them, or we can talk to these guys about it and get, you guys got questions. I know you guys have been like, hey, what's your take on the hat? Hey, what's the material of that? Like, hit us up, send us a DM. We will give you our thoughts, our honest thoughts on the products here. But as you can tell, every one of us here is repping some kind of gear from Thomas Adams Apparel. So We love it all, man. You guys got to go check it out. The Sony Open in Hawaii back in action. 2026 golf has arrived. Good luck to you guys this weekend. And until next time, Zach, Jacob, and myself, we'll catch you guys. Good luck.